Now we need a location. It's important to note at this point that attempting to guess a possible location is one of the most dangerously speculative things that can be done, because regardless of its validity, it will still have an impact on those watching this video. Will my analysis cause people to fear the future? Will people take this video seriously enough to be concerned about where they live? Will some people simply take my analysis as fact? My hope is that no one watching this video answers yes to any of those questions. I did decide to include a location prediction, as I felt it had a high degree of ritual significance, especially in terms of the synchronistic manner in which I came to find it. I want to emphasize again that I have no inside information and I do not know anything about a possible future event taking place. I'm just interpreting symbolism in the media based on my own ideas and perceptions. As with everything already presented, I'll let you interpret the following for yourself and consider my conclusions purely speculative. Let's go back to the map scene in the Simpsons episode To Surveil with Love. When turned 90 degrees, the map is an identical map to one featured in a Simpsons episode earlier entitled Postcards from the Wedge, Season 21, Episode 14. The episode highlights Bart driving a train, causing the city to shake, and saying that he wants to blow up the world. A note also states that Bart is going to use the subway to destroy the city, and it includes a message, "Good luck trying to stop him before it's too late." Partway through the episode, Bart and Lisa are talking.
Hey, I would end all life on this planet just to get out of doing fractions.
Fractions aren't that hard. You just have to find a common denominator. For example, 1/2 plus 1/3 equals 3.
End all life on this planet!
Bart then references a bomb and destroying the world. Bart and Milhouse later find an old subway, as well as the map featured in the episode To Surveil with Love. This connection brings together both episodes in relation to bombs, trains, subways, and the planted map was the key. Notice too that Bart is the one driving the train in the event. While following up on clues about a location for the event, I found myself looking around quite a bit for subway city maps throughout the USA. While looking around, I noticed on Google Earth that San Francisco's downtown core has buildings that somewhat resemble the explosion scene in To Surveil with Love. I immediately found a second correlation, as San Francisco is also well known for its Twin Peaks. Notice too that they're visible in the explosion scene. I would consider the Twin Peaks to be a symbolic reference to the Twin Towers. As things weren't getting weird enough, brace yourself for this one. The Google satellite image of San Francisco's downtown core was retaken on September the 11th, 2010. As we know, the date of September the 11th is featured heavily as it stamps locations and events that will later take part in a ritual. The Pentagon is of course an example of this, as it began construction on September 11th, 1941, and as we recall, was one of the major targets on 9/11. I then started looking further for trains in the area. The correlations continue in a big way as we learn that Bay Area Rapid Transit first opened transit operations on September the 11th, 1972. And here is where everything appears to tie together. Bay Area Rapid Transit's official short form is BART, and it's pronounced BART. Could the train references in both Simpsons episodes be referring us to San Francisco, and even to the Bay Area Rapid Transit? If we take the events in the Simpsons episode literally, it certainly appears so. The episode Postcards from the Wedge highlights Bart blowing things up, causing the city to shake, and literally operating the train. The Bay Area Rapid Transit obviously predates the character Bart. Maybe what we're looking at here is an original coincidence. It may have been monopolized on in order to symbolically tie in the location with the event with even more emphasis. Now let's go to Billboard.com and look at the top 100 songs from 2010. This list offers an incredibly symbolic and very creepy element to what we've just learned. The words California, San Francisco, and train all pop out in the top 4. And of course, heading the list is a song we're quite familiar with by now. It's Kesha's Tick-Tock, leading us all the way back to the beginning of the first episode that we analyzed. It's at this point that I want to offer another level of this analysis with 4 major points. First, a train attack and bombing may be a single event or 2 separate events. it's entirely possible that multiple dates have been selected for this event, and the Simpsons episode analysis may be just one interpretation. Although we have been focusing on April, the year might change to 2012, 13, and beyond. As we know, the final decision will come down to what the architects deem to be most appropriate. Second, notice that all the major events of the past have conspiracies within conspiracies. Like pulling back the layers of an onion, these events are designed from the ground up to compartmentalize investigators. Take the grassy knoll sniper theory, the editing of the Zapruder film, the moon landing footage, the 9/11 plane footage, and even the destruction of the towers. Researchers will argue with each other for decades over matters that were designed to mislead investigations and delay conclusions. It seems logical that the next major event will be no different. Imagine a scenario in which a small nuclear bomb goes off on a train. It would be far easier to detonate a regular bomb and have the news media convince the public that the bomb was nuclear. This would serve to further test public reaction to a nuclear attack on American soil, but without the environmental complications that come from such an event. Radiation, whether real or not real, can even be reported at the new Ground Zero location, and years after the event, researchers will continue to argue over whether or not a genuine nuclear bomb even went off. It's at least something to consider. And notice too that 9/11 was always referred to as Ground Zero. As one mirror image to the next, it stands to reason that the next event may be a real Ground Zero. Third, it's worthy to note that this symbolism, especially over the past few years, has been very overt in nature. The sheer volume of it made us serve to gauge how much of the public is paying attention. Maybe after the Gulf oil spill, they decided to push things even further. If one of the objectives of this symbolism is to test to see if someone could predict an event before it happens, it could serve as a useful indicator that they need to curtail their efforts and become more covert in the future. Fourth, after 9/11, there was an unprecedented increase in reactive security measures for airports. A train-related event would be the next logical step for those interested in increasing security on the ground. We have already been politically conditioned to expect that Obama will be challenged during his administration. The political climate Bush was in right before 9/11 certainly can be compared to Obama's present situation, especially in relation to approval rating polls. Bush jumped up to an alarming 90% approval immediately after 9/11. The media appears to be re-engineering this political climate for Obama.
Cabinets don't really sell things. The president himself has to reconnect with the people. Remember, President Clinton reconnected through Oklahoma, right? And the president right now seems removed. And it wasn't until that speech that he clicked with the American public. Obama needs a similar
Do you think words will work for President Obama at this point?
No. Okay, he's got to get some results. But words will work, I think, if he finds that right.
There are many aspects to my analysis that I have left out in order to focus primarily on the more significant. Regardless of how accurate my analysis is, the past examples of symbolism in the media and how they relate to predicting future events should alone be an overwhelming indicator that something's up.